Okay, we're on day 2 of Module 8. Again, looking at graphs and features. The feature we're looking at today is increasing and decreasing on our learning target. Again, we're looking for you to be successful at identifying where that graph increases or decreases and be able to put it in an interval notation, very similar to what we did with our domains and ranges as well. So, again, we're looking at increase and decreasing and then minimums and maximums with this. So if I look at one way to think about this and help you guys learn how to do this and to be able to identify those intervals of increasing, decreasing, and where the maximums are, is think of this. If I had a roller coaster that moved up and down like this, and I wanted to highlight the parts where it goes down and up, I could do that. So if I looked at this part right here, again right here, those all are decreasing at that point in time, okay? Again, if I do this a little bit wider, those are all spots that where it's decreasing or going downward, okay? And then if I'm going upwards, it would be from here to here, it'd be from here to here, it'd be from here to here for forever, right? And so that's important because as we do that, it'll help us identify where we are increasing and decreasing, and it'll help me with my max and mins. So the other part of this is I'm going to put a really thick dot where it changes directions. So this one changes right at this spot, at this spot, at this spot, at this spot, and at this spot, okay? So the color parts that went downward, so this pink here, that is where it is decreasing, okay? The color part where this green is the increasing part, and then those thick dots are my maximum and minimum values, okay? So the definition of a maximum value is when it changes from increase to decrease. So anytime it goes from green to pink, that's a max value. Okay, green to pink is max. And anytime it changes from pink to green or goes from decrease to increase, that's a minimum. So in this case, I have 3 of them. And these are called relative maximums and relative minimums. It's a low point in relation to all the points close by it. Okay? And then if it doesn't increase or decrease, it's going to be constant. And it's constant when we have a flat line, which on this graph I don't have any constants. Okay? And we're just going to communicate this using the x-axis. Okay? So we're going to get down to this bottom part. I just wanted you guys to understand that when it goes down, it's decreasing. When it goes up, it's increasing. And those changes of directions are max and mins. Okay? So let's look at each of these graphs here, and we are going to identify the interval at which it increases and decreases. The nice thing about these intervals is I do not like domain and range where I have to use bracket and not bracket. These are all going to be parentheses. Okay? And you might do multiple ones. Okay? So for example, this is increasing. Again, if you want to highlight, I think that's actually a really good habit. This is increasing here, and then it's increasing there as well. Okay? And then it's decreasing right there, and then I do have a constant, which is right there as well. So if I go to write these, again, my increase is going to be this red, these 2 red lines, which I'm going to use my x-axis. This is going down to the left, but I always work left to right. So this is increasing from negative infinity until I get to this point right here, which that point is at -3, because I only care about, again, the x-axis. Okay? Good. Hopefully you guys are good with that and understand that. Okay, and so since I have 2 of them, I'm going to put this U between them and then do the other red one, which that's going to be from here to this point, okay? So if you want to think of it, all this in the red, and I'm just using the x-axis, that'd be from 1 to 4. And that's how I would write the increasing sections. Again, everything from left to right. I always use the x's, not the y. Okay? And then my decreasing is going to be my green sections. That's going to be from this -3 all the way over to the -1. So from -3 to 1, it's increasing. And then, again, my constant is going to be this part right here that goes for forever. That way, again, from here all the way that way. So it'd be from 4 to infinity. Okay, I have a max value when it goes from red to green. So that'd be at that point. So I have a max, and we're just going to put that max value at, again, x equals -3. And that's the only max value. It has to go from increase to decrease, not increase to constant. So there's no relative max there. And then my min value is going to be right here when it goes from green to red, or this valley. And that's going to be at x equals 1. Okay? So again, it has to change directions for it to be. From red to green is a max, green to red is a min. Okay, let's keep going. Increasing here again. I'll just keep using this highlighter here. I think that helps with this. So this just has the two pieces to it. So this should be fairly quick here. So my increasing, it increases till this point right up here. And that point is right there, and it is increasing everything that way. So from -infinity to 2 is where it increases. So -infinity to 2. And that's the only interval, so I just have to do that. And then it decreases from that point all the way to the right. So that would be from 2 to infinity for that one. I have no constant, so I'm just going to put NA. It's not applicable for that. And then I do have a maximum value. That maximum value is at 2, so it'd be x equals 2. But I do not have a minimum value, so this would just be NA as well, not applicable with that one. And that's just how this goes, okay? So let's look at this one. This one increases from here to here. Okay, and then we get the two decreasing sections from there to there. And then I have a changing point there and a changing point there. All right, so let's look at our increase. And so our increase is this red section. That's from here to here. So everything in between. So that'd be from -4 to 4. In my decreasing, I've got all the way to -infinity to -4, and then 4 to infinity. So decreasing -infinity to -4. And I use my union, and then I go from 4 to infinity. And then my constant, there is no constant, so NA again for that. And then I have a maximum value, again, from where the top of the hill is my max. Increase to decrease would be x equals 4. And my decrease would be here at x equals -4. When you have more than one, you just list them out. Okay, let's look at this last one. Again, my increase, I've got an increase there. I've got an increase there. I've got decrease here going down, decrease here. And then I've got some constants here as well. Okay? Right? So let's start with our increase. And it's increasing from here to there. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So -6 to -4. And then I have it from 0 to 2. Okay, so those sections. And then look at my green section. That's going to be from -4 to 0. Everything in between. So -4 to 0. And then I also have everything from 2 to this point here. So 2 to let's see, to 5. And then I've got a couple constants. There's no arrows on this, so these stop right here. So that would be from -10 to -6. And then the other section is going to be here at 5 and to 9. Because this is this section right here. Okay? And then if I look at maximums, it has to go from increase to decrease. So there's a maximum, and there's a maximum. So I have x equals at -4 and at 2. And then I do have a minimum that's right here at 0. So I have x equals 0 for a minimum. Remember, when it's constant, it's not a max or a min value. Okay? So you guys should be able to look at these graphs and see and write those intervals of max and min constant, and then find the minimums and maximums. All right, see ya.